interested in doing inversion work. So this is your opportunity to do that. It'll be different stuff from what I taught last Saturday, but it'll also be accessible even if you haven't taken the first one that I taught on Saturday. You're totally welcome to come. I think there's about 10 people already signed up for that one now. So I would sign up sooner rather than later, because we're going to end up having to cap it because there's only so much space in here to do fancy handstand stuff. So if you're curious about it, you can ask me after class, but let's get started in child's pose and get sweaty and see what we get up to tonight. Spread out your fingers nice and wide. Let your body settle back on your hips. Hips down to your heels. And take a deep breath in together. Fill yourself all the way up. A big exhale out. Good. 2 more. Big inhale. Fill your chest, your whole upper back. Empty it out. 1 more like that. Fill up. Big exhale. Ujjayi breath from here forward. Long inhale with a pause at the top and a long exhale with a pause at the bottom. Purposeful, intentional breathing, whether you rushed here or you had all the time in the world to get here, let that kind of clear out. You're just moving your body through space with everyone else practicing in studio, practicing at home. Downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. Keep building the breath, and then you move around as you need to. Each one of your fingertips down into the floor. The front of your rib cage starting to knit together and pull deep into your body. Then walk your feet up to your hands, hang in ragdoll. Start to get the soles of both of your feet way down into the floor. The big toe mound, the pinky toe mound right behind the smallest toe, the center of your heel, straight into the mat. Press into your feet, rise all the way up to standing. Reach through your fingertips. Bring your thumbs to heart center. Set your intention for your practice. Pick one specific thing that you want to focus on. And we'll send out those intentions with 3 big ohms. Deep inhale. Inhale, reach up, extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Step or jump back, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Push the air back out. Yeah, start to build heat. Breath in, breath out. 1 more, fill up. Push all the air back out. Look forward and move, feet to hands. Halfway lift, fold down. Extended mountain, rise up. Reach through your fingertips, forward fold. Halfway lift, chaturanga. Get each fingertip down into the mat. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breath in. Big exhale. Full inhale. Empty. Last one. Empty to the pit of your belly. Step or jump forward. Halfway lift. Bow down. Extended mountain. Rise up. Stretch the sides of your body. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Breathe in together. Empty it out. Breath number 2. Clear it. Last one. Exhale it all. Step or jump. Halfway lift. Fold down. Extended mountain. Rise up. Press into your feet. Fold. Halfway lift. Push up. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Empty it out. 2 more. Fill. Loud exhale. Last one. Empty completely. Step or jump. Halfway lift. Fold down. One more sunny. Rise up to standing. Stretch up. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Push the air out. Breath in. Exhale. Thumbs down in the mat. One more. Exhale completely. Step or jump. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose. One breath in. Fold and exhale. Halfway lift. Low push up. Inhale up. Exhale down. Right side warrior one. Step through. One big breath to reach up. Low push up on your exhale. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Left side. Step through. Plug it in. Take the shape. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Empty it out. Full breath. Exhale. Last one. Empty to the pit of your belly. Spring forward. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose. Sit deep. Fold. Halfway lift. Low push up. Upward facing. Downward facing. Right side. Warrior one. Step into it. Plug your feet down. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Left side. Step it through. Bury your feet in your mat. Low push up. Inhale up. Exhale down. Breath in. Empty out. Breathe in. Exhale. Last one. Empty all the way. Move forward. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose. Lift and spread your toes. Fold. Halfway lift. Low push up. Upward facing. Downward facing. Right side warrior. Step into it. Lunge deep in your front leg. Nice, Delphine. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Left side. Step. Knee right on top of the front ankle. Good. Chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale down. Breathe in together. Exhale it out. 2 more. Fill. Empty. You got it. Last one. Empty completely. Jump to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose. Way down and back. Fold. Halfway lift. Low push up. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Right side warrior one. Step into it. Lift your chest up to the ceiling. Chaturanga. Upward. Downward facing dog. Left side. Step through. Chest up, up, up. Reach. Chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Empty out. Yeah, it can be a sigh. Breath in. Breath out. One more. Empty completely. Move forward. Halfway lift. Bow down. Last sun B. Chair pose. Fold. Halfway lift. Low push up. Upward facing. Downward facing. Right side warrior. Step into it. Press your big toe mounds down. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Left side. Step. Press. Stretch up. Low push up. Inhale up. Exhale downward facing dog. Oh, there's already a lot of heat, a lot of energy built up in the room. Send your right leg up to the sky. Bend your knee and open your hip. Stay three-legged or flip your dog. Then connect. Feet on the mat. Big toe mounds into the mat. If you're in three-legged, each one of your fingertips down into the floor. Nice, Zoe. Just like that. Beautiful. Now flip back over. Side plank. Really anchor your bottom hand down into the mat in a way that not only is the hand on the floor, but your armpit, your right armpit is pulling up into your body, pulling into the side of your torso. Big inhale here. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Send your left leg up to the sky. Bend your knee, open your hip. Stay or flip. Feet on the mat, toes involved in the pose, heels involved in the pose. Even if you've got the leg in the air, that foot is still super active. Then flip back over, side plank. Connect the hand on the mat and then press the mat away. So it's not just supporting you, it's pressing the floor away and resisting gravity. Nice. Everybody flex your ankles. Good. Last breath in here. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Clear the breath out. Right side crescent lunge. Step your right foot between your hands. How's your breathing from here? Yeah, settle back into it. Let yourself sink down into your feet in a way that the whole sole of your front foot is in the mat, not with your toes scrunched, but the big toe mount in the floor, the center of your front heel in the floor. Hands to heart center, twist right. Open your arms. Use your arms, your fingertips, spread them apart. Let them open up the front side of your chest. Nice, Georgia. I saw that. Lots of space between your collarbones. One more breath together. Stay for the exhale. Twist it out. Warrior two. Take up space, get out the cracks and pops, and then lunge deep in your front leg. Stay deep in the front leg. Flip your front palm. Reach forward and reverse your warrior. So all of the space comes from the front hip crease all the way up and up to your fingertips. The lunge stays low. Knee over the front ankle. Yes, good adjustments. Reach so far back you straighten your front leg. It's super long. Back to warrior two. Extended side angle. Elbow to front thigh or fingertips down by your arch. How's your breathing here? I know we don't really do that often, the reverse warrior thing, and then I feel like it throws people off and you're like, wait, what? Where are we right now? Come back to your breathing. All you're doing is moving your body through space. Take a bind if you'd like. You're moving your body through space, but you're just doing it one pose at a time. So you're not caught up in what should come next or what you think is going to come next. One more breath. Low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side crescent lunge. Step through. Get the whole ball mound of your back foot in the mat so your heel can go straight up to the ceiling. Yeah, you can have a little bit or a lot of a bend in your back knee, whatever stabilizes the legs so you can square your hips forward. Good. Hands to heart center, twist left. Add more breath. And open your arms. Always best to add the open arms when you reconnect your feet to the floor. You twist open, maybe the balance gets thrown to the side a little bit. No big deal. Reconnect the feet and then go for more space. Wide collarbones, pull them apart. Last breath in. Stay for the exhale, ring it out. Warrior two. Deepen your warrior two legs. A nice long stance so the lunge can be super deep. Keep the legs exactly as they are. Flip your front palm, reach forward and reverse it. Yeah, you might take your right arm behind your back or reach it down the back leg, whatever feels best to make space across that line on your body. Stretch back and straighten your front leg. Get long. Warrior two. Extended side angle. Get that little bit of reprieve out of the lunge so that you can recommit to a deep lunge in the extended side angle. Create it from the ground up. Start with your feet. Work your way up the pose. Maybe there's a bind there for you on this side as well. Chest wide open. Nice, Kristen. Take one more inhale. Full expression. Low push-up. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Exhale. Good. Breath in. Empty. Last one. Clear it all out. Step or jump forward. Halfway lift. Bow down. Chair pose. Keep breathing. Way down into it. Settle your hips down and back, a little lower and further back than you initially sit. Hands to heart twist right. Spread your arms apart. Now I'll give you the option. You can take a bind here in your chair twist, or you can try on Bird of Paradise. That will be the bind, and then you press into your right foot and lift your left leg up to the sky. It's helpful to look at the ground as you're coming up in Bird of Paradise, so you've got a focal point, and then you can shift your gaze forward. Nice. Lots of birds tonight. Flex your ankle, birds. Your lifted ankle. Good. One more inhale wherever you are. Back up to chair pose. Fold. First two fingers around your big toes. Reconnect the breathing if it got away from you. No big deal. Eyes at the back edge of your mat. It's intentional. It's on purpose, so you can refocus if your mind took you somewhere else. Release your grip. Take crow pose from the head of your mat. Spread out the fingers wide, and just like in your side plank, press the ground away with your hands. Instead of thinking about it like, oh, I've got to balance all of my weight on the backs of my arms, think about the hands pressing the floor away. Yes, Jen, like that. So the upper back starts to expand and puff out. Yeah, Bob, there you go. You've got one more breath wherever you are. Step or jump back, low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take one breath in together. Clear it all out. Step or jump forward. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose and stay. Reconnect to the breath. Bring it all the way down into your feet so the feet can press into the mat. Hands to heart twist left. Open your arms. Stay in the twist. Go for the Bird of Paradise. And there's no rush, right? Like if you're trying on Bird of Paradise for maybe the second or third time, take your time. You don't have to get all the way upright the first or second time you take the pose. There's a lot of pieces. Beautiful. Fingertips awake. Those of you in the chair twist. Good. One more inhale. Back to chair. Fold. Gorilla. Step on your palms, toes up to your wrists. You got it. Take your gaze to the back edge of the mat. Refocus. Reconnect. Yeah, it could be a sigh out through your mouth and you reset and you're good to go. Crow number 2. You can take the standard crow pose or take a different variation if you'd like. I will say this about taking the different variations. If you always take a different variation, make sure that you come back to the original crow every now and again to see how the pose has shifted. See how it's changed in your practice since the last time you took it. Good. Gaze out in front of your fingertips. You've got one more breath. Step or jump, low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath in together. Empty it out. Breathe in. Breath out. Last one. Clear it completely. Step or jump forward. Halfway lift. Bow down. Rise all the way up to standing. Eagle pose, right side. Right arm under, right leg over. You've been generating a ton of heat and a ton of breath already during the practice. Keep that flowing here. Because it took all of that heat and breath work to get to these balancing poses, so you've got some more space to work with in the balancing poses. Drive the breath through these poses. Left side eagle, left arm under, left leg over. It took something to get to this point of the practice. Squeeze out the space between your arms, between your legs. Switch sides, right side eagle. Not worried about making the pose look perfect. That's not a thing. You're just taking the shape of the pose and then see what there is to discover. Eyes stay glued to one spot. Switch, left side eagle. If you peel back that need to look like someone else in the room when you're doing a pose, or to make this quote unquote better than the last time that you did the pose, if you peel all of that away, what's left? How much space is there to work with when you take all of that out of the equation, the expectations of it? Standing leg raise, right side. Grab your right raise near your extended foot. Stay here in center. If you're grabbing the knee, flex the ankle and spread your toes. If you're grabbing the foot, it's a little harder to flex your ankle, but the idea of that so the foot stays awake. Take it out to the right. Reach and look left. When you take out the pieces about whether or not your balance is good or bad, or you're doing a good or bad job in the pose, what's left? Back to center. Take airplane, press the foot straight back. Go long in the pose, length from the center of your lifted heel out through the front of your chest. Yes. Good. Add more breathing here. If you need to reset the pose and tap your foot to the floor, no big deal. You do that and come back. Half moon, open up. We're going to stay in half moon for a couple of extra breaths so you can use the block. You can play around with lifting your hand off the floor and up to your heart. A few extra breaths, something new becomes possible. A stronger half moon, maybe a sugar cane where you grab your top ankle. Beautiful. You've got one more big breath wherever you're doing your work. Both feet to the mat. Yeah, and then shake out the leg if you need to do that. Come up to standing. Standing leg raise, left side. Grab the knee or the raised left foot. The extra stuff out of the way. Open left, reach and look right. That's one of the big differences I found in my many years of teaching, the difference between teaching kids and teaching adults. Kids don't give a crap about what the other kids are doing. They'll just try the thing on and look messy and flop all over the place, and they don't care. Come back to center, take airplane. But adults are like, no, I have to be perfect right out of the gate. I have to stick this no matter what. I have to have all of this musculature and this control the first time I'm on my mat. That's not how it works. Half moon, open up. When you take that expectation out of the practice, there's possibility for a lot more. New poses, trying things on, being able to get messy so that you can get to the new things, not worried about what it looks like in between. Maybe you're light on the bottom hand or you're taking sugar cane here. Yeah, let it be a little wobbly. Good. One more breath. Press. Feet to the mat. Woof. Come up to standing. Standing bow or dancer's pose, right side. Soft crease of the elbow outward for the standing bow. Choose one thing that you're going to push right up to the edge of the pose here. One physical thing. Your shin as far back as it'll go that you can feel there's almost like a shake to it. The tension on the shin pressing back gets a shake in your arm. Or you're tipping so far forward, you're just about to lose your balance. Then switch sides. Left side standing bow or dancer. That's one of the things that we can lose. The more often you're on your mat, your body kind of gets used to it and it does business as usual. Kind of doing the pose, not coming to the edge of the pose. Come all the way up to the edge. One thing that's right up to the edge. You couldn't possibly hold it for another breath. Switch. Right side, standing bow or dancer. Different from pushing the entire body all the way to the edge where you're like gassed at the end of the pose. One specific thing, all of the attention there, it's lit up. All the muscles are hugged to your bones. Eyes are on one spot. Last breath. Switch. Last one. Could be a clearing exhale. Cool. Get yourself collected. Take the last one. That one physical thing that's going to light up the rest of the pose. That lifted foot will press 2 inches higher up to the ceiling. Beautiful. Last inhale. Feet to the floor. Woof. Tree pose, right side. I always love when people picture tree pose like in ads or magazines, and it's like, oh, this peaceful, tranquil thing. It's like, not after all the other bouncing poses. No, sir, not in this room. Take any arm variation you want. Tree pose might be the comeback to breath pose, but it's certainly not, oh, this is peaceful, tranquil yoga. No sweating here. Press into your standing big toe mound. Let it go through the mat and down into the floor. One more inhale. Lift. Switch sides. Tree pose on the left. Eyes on one spot. Take your pose. Big, tall spine. Deep breathing where your lungs expand past your rib cage down into your belly. One more breath. Feet to the floor. Come up to the head of your mat if you're not there already. Extended mountain. Reach up to the ceiling. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Open up your lungs. Downward facing dog. Empty out. Right side triangle. Step your right foot between your hands. Reconnect with the breathing if it got quiet for you in your balancing poses. Hand to the shin or hand down to the block outside your shin. Press your front big toe mound into the mat enough that your front hip crease pulls deep into your body. Yeah, it might just be a ½ inch. It could be a couple of inches. The big toe mound presses down so your hip can pull into your body. Press into your feet. Rise all the way to standing. Side facing wide leg forward fold. Turn the feet to the long edge of the mat and hinge forward. Yogi's choice tonight on this side. You can play around with getting upside down, work the fold, work some ninja lunges side to side. I know this time of year is where I like to do a lot of hip work because we're getting towards springtime and things are starting to loosen up and break up in your body. But there's an intentional breathing regardless of the movement that you're taking, so it's slow and mindful. The breathing is mindful, the gaze is specific. Nice. Headstands. You can start to make your way down. You've got plenty of time. Lunges. Get yourself evened out. Press into your feet. Rise all the way to stand. Namaste, front facing forward fold, facing the front edge of your mat. Splits if you're working on that one. Namaste folds, take a bind behind your back, either hand to elbow or reverse namaste. Hinge forward. Blocks can be super helpful in both of the poses, so don't be afraid to grab one of those or grab your water bottle and use it as a prop. Everybody lift the front of your pelvis up to your belly button. Yeah, like you're scooping it in and up. Nice, Niman. Stabilizing the front of your pelvis. Good. Keep the breathing going. Twisting splits or twisting triangle. Left hand down, right arm straight out for the twisting triangles. Twisting split. Keep working the front of your pelvis up to your belly button as you twist. Nice alignment, everybody. Take one more breath in. Stay for the whole exhale. Twist. High to low push-up. However it makes sense to get there. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. Exhale it out. Left side triangle. Step your left foot between your hands. Keep working the breathing. The breathing's different now. It's longer inhales and deeper exhales that fill your whole torso. Instead of just the chest cavity, it's the whole torso now. And then you work the front leg on this side, the front big toe mound into the floor to pull your thigh bone into your hip crease, deep into the front of your body. You might find softening your front knee will give you a little more room to work with that. The thigh bone on the front leg into your torso. Press into your feet, rise up to standing. Side facing wide leg forward fold with a bind. Hands clasped at your low back or a strap or towel between your hands. Hinge forward. Then some of you can check in with your feet. Bring the toes a little closer together. Yeah, so your feet are at least parallel, if not a little bit pigeon-toed. Sometimes I'll play around with parallel or pigeon-toed depending on where I want to stretch my ankles or the outside of my shins. Good. Breathe right here. Soften the backs of your knees a bit. Let the weight be in the heels, the center of your heels, rather than locked out knee joints to keep your balance here. Release your hands down, rise up. Namaste front facing or splits facing the front edge of your mat. Grab the blocks, the water bottles, get yourself set up. Then work towards a neutral pelvis here. That looks like the front of your pelvis coming up towards your belly button. And both of your hip points pointing straight ahead in splits, straight down in that pyramid pose. Twisting triangle or twisting split. Hips stay exactly where they are. Front of the pelvis up, hip points pointing straight forward. Add more breath. Got a little quiet. Yeah, a little harder to find the breathing and the twisting. Keep the breathing in your upper chest when you twist. There it is. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. Twist. High to low push up. Big breath. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. And clear it out. Any way you want. Breath in. Empty. Last one. Empty completely. Roll out to a high plank. Keep the steady ujjayi breathing. Slow as you can. Lower down to the mat. Elbows hug the sides of your ribs. All the way down. Locust pose when you get there. Slow and controlled. Rise up and away from the mat. So you've been building all of this heat, all of this length, all of this muscle to bone connection so that you've got all the space you need to take these back bends. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Then lower to the floor. Rock out your hips side to side. Locust number 2. Hands stay where they are. Clasp them behind you. Rise up. Inner thighs squeeze together. Squeeze an invisible block there. You don't want to drop it on your mat. Nice. One more breath. Lower down. Hips left and right. Floor bow number 1. Bend your knees and grab your ankles. We're taking 2. You can grab one at a time if you want. Rise up. Press the shins straight back. Then flex your ankles and press your feet up to the ceiling. Just like you did in standing bow. Feet straight up to the ceiling. Lower down. Good. Side to side. Rock it out. Second set. Take both ankles or switch. Rise up. Ankles flex, soles of the feet up to the ceiling. So if you put footprints on the rafters, it'd be full footprints, not just the outside edges of your feet. Good adjustments. One more breath. Lower down. Take it side to side. Upward facing dog. Pause in the up dog so that just the tops of your feet and your palms are touching the mat. Everything else is hovering. Yes, pit of the belly in, inner thighs squeeze together. Beautiful. Downward facing dog. Lower the knees. Take one camel pose. One camel. Knees on the ground, and then you can tuck or untuck your feet in the back. Lift up and make your way back. The key to space in camel is to think of your spine like a candy cane. You want from your knees all the way up your back to the middle of your shoulders to be long and straight. The back bend part happens in your upper back, right between your shoulder blades. Maximum length. Next inhale, rise up and out. High hero, sit back on your heels, tall, straight spine. Swing the legs out in front of you. Take bridge pose. Come down onto your back. You got it. All the heat, all the work, the momentum moving forward. Press your feet into the floor. Rise up. Bridge pose. If you've got those hands interlaced underneath you, can you walk your shoulders close enough that you can press the palms together? So it's not just the fingertips. Yes, Zoe. It's not just the fingertips interlaced. It's the palms touching. Nice, Amy. One more inhale. Lower down. That changes the pose, right? Knees side to side. Press down, rise up. Bridge number 2. And if you're not clasping your hands underneath you, can you walk the shoulder blades underneath you enough that the back of your neck isn't touching the floor? There's a little bit of space there between your floor, your mat, and the back of your neck. Good. One more breath. Lower down. Knees side to side. Stick with your bridge or move on to wheel pose. Wheel number 1. Tuck your fingertips under your shoulders. Flat palms rise up. Palms and feet straight down into the floor. Tuck your chin, make your way down. Take one breath in. Clear it out. Number 2, press, lift, go. Away from the mat, heart right up to the surface of your chest. Press it out and away from your body. Then come on down. Breathe in. Breath out. Number 3, you got it. Press, lift, go. Halfway point. Set the gaze. One specific point behind you. Lower down. Breathe in. Breath out. Number 4, press and go. No expectations around it, right? You've done the pose. You're just coming into the pose, seeing what there is to see. Then make your way down. Breath in. Breath out. 2 more, yogis. Press, lift, go. Bridge or wheel. Yes, stay committed. Plug your big toe mounds into the mat. Lower down. Breath in. Breath out. Last one. Press and go. Your total body expression present in this one back bend. Tuck your chin and lower down. Supta Baddha Konasana. Press the soles of your feet together. Hands wherever they want to go. Dead bug, soles of the feet up to the sky. Keep the breathing going. It sounds great right now. Steady and rhythmic, right? Whether you're in a pose where you can recollect yourself or you're in a pose where you're exerting a lot of effort, breath the whole way. Legs straight up in the air. Scissor legs are next. Hands behind your head or hands under your hips. Lower the right leg halfway to the mat. Breathe in. Exhale, switch. Breath in. Exhale, switch. Go at that slow, steady pace with your breathing. And you're just letting a leg lower close enough to the mat that you can still keep your low back touching the floor. There's a hollowed out quality to it where your shoulders are off the mat and the low belly is pulled down to the floor. Keep going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Keep breathing. 3, 2, 1. Legs straight up. Yes, belly down to the mat, shoulders down to the mat. Lower both legs 30 degrees. Lower them 60. Lower to hover. Flutter kick the feet. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs up to the sky. Reset. Shoulders down, belly down to the mat. Lower 30. You got it. Lower 60. Lower to hover, open and close the legs like scissors. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs straight up. Woo! One more set, folks. Lower 30. Lower 60. Lower to hover, legs stay together, tiny circles, tiny circles. I know, clockwise and then counterclockwise. Legs back up in the air, knees into your chest. Those tiny circles suck. Okay, rock forward and back up into boat pose. But if it sucks, it means it's doing something. That's the important part. Right up into boat pose. Hands either behind your thighs or arms out to the side. Flex the ankles and spread the toes. Yes, now breathe right here. Steady, rhythmic, 4-part breathing. So this pose becomes one where you're like, yeah, cool. I can be cool as a cucumber here in this pose. No big deal. Downward facing dog. Make your way there. Breathing is super important when you're working hard in a pose so the body doesn't go into a panic mode of, when are we getting out of here? Right side half pigeon. Right knee to right wrist. You can take the pose on your back and hug your right shin into your chest like a figure 4. Steady breathing. The breathing's been pretty solid all the way through practice, so keep it going to the end of your practice. Consider that the breathing that happens in the opening section, these hip opener poses, it's like a relief. It's an opportunity for not only your lungs to sigh, but your body to sigh. And if you're more on the bendy, flexy end of the spectrum and you're like, yeah, okay, I don't know that I really feel that much, what can you shift in the pose so that more information is happening? And if you're on the other end where things are strong but tighter, can you make it feel like a sigh? Can you breathe in a way that the tissue that's tight begins to soften? Deep, full breathing, where a sigh is possible. A sense of something being released is possible. Double pigeon with your right shin on top. So you'll swing the back leg around, but then arrange yourself so your right leg is on top. You might have a block or a water bottle under your knee or under an ankle. Otherwise, they're stacked like fire logs, and then you can stay upright or you can fold forward. Steady breathing. What is there to clean out? What is there to release and let go of? I know we all hear that a lot in the yoga world. What can you let go of? It's like, okay, that's like a million things. Just one specific, if you were to let go of one thing today that happened today, clear that out of your system. If you could just remove one thing and leave it here so you don't have to take it home with you, what would you pick up and just leave? Downward facing dog. Left side half pigeon. Steady 4-part breathing. What does it look like when your entire practice has that steady 4-part breath? It takes the space away from your mind telling you something that doesn't matter right now and puts more space on what's going on in the moment. In this single pose. Sense of opening, a sense of a sigh happening in your body. Double pigeon, left shin on top. Stay up or fold forward. When you're folding forward, make sure you still have both of your sit bones rooted down on the floor so the bony points in your butt are still touching the ground even as you fold forward. That way you're still lengthening the backside of your body from what's touching the ground up to the back of your neck. Sense of space, of clearing out clutter, of like you took the junk drawer out of your kitchen and just dumped it on the floor and put the drawer back in. Or maybe you opened up the junk drawer and just took out the thing that's catching the drawer so you can't open the drawer all the way. Just take out that one thing. So I feel like sometimes we put so much pressure on do this gigantic, huge, astronomical thing in one yoga class and there's all that pressure. Maybe not sometimes. Frog pose. Frog pose or seated wide leg fold. Because eventually if you're just picking off one thing at a time, the drawer gets empty and there's not that pressure to do the whole thing at one time. So frogs, knees are bent at 90 degrees and then your ankles are in line with your knees. If your frog is against the wall, make sure that your hips are far enough away from the wall that the knees are at 90 degrees and not less than that. Seated wide leg folds, toes are up to the ceiling. Good. Breathe right here. If you took one thing out and put it off to the side, how would you reallocate that space? If you can't hear your neighbor breathing, breathe a little louder. Remind them to come back into the space with you. Couple more breaths here. Stick with it. Slowly make your way out of your pose. Seated forward fold is next. Both legs straight out in front. Then you can bend your knees a little or a lot and hinge forward over both legs. If you've got extra space to work with, you can put a block in front of your feet or a strap around the end of your feet. This is not there. Cool. Keep a little extra bend in your knees. Stay here in the seated fold. Take one last breath. Sigh and exhale. Fold forward. Tabletop or reverse plank. Plant your palms behind your hips. Fingertips face the front edge of your mat. And lift yourself up. Hips up to the ceiling. Tabletops have got bent knees. Planks, long legs with the toes pointed down towards the mat. Little softness to the knees if you're in the plank. Use the inner thighs to pull in and up. Yeah, good adjustments. One more breath. Lift, lower down. Fish pose is next. Block between your shoulder blades or hands tucked underneath your glutes. And if you always stick with one version of fish pose and never take the other one, mix it up every once in a while, only so that you can get a sense of what that pose feels like now. Oftentimes we kind of find a favorite version of a pose and then we never step outside that version, so then nothing ever changes about the pose. It gets too comfortable. That's your red flag. If it's super comfortable and you can check out, it's time to change something up. One more breath here in your fish. A big exhale out. Come down onto your back. Time to get upside down. You can work on whatever inversion is calling to you. Tripod headstand, basket headstand, handstand work, shoulder stands, waterfall with or without a block under your hips. Steady breathing. Eyes glued to one spot, regardless of the inversion that you've chosen. Nice control, Bob. Shoulder stands, keep working those elbows together behind you to help support the rest of your body. Nice control, Nima. Keep pressing your elbows into the floor. Yes. Headstands and handstands. Start to make your way down, and then maybe child's pose or high hero to reset. Shoulder stands can take plow. Long legs in your plow. Even hear that long 4-part breath. Plow to Deaf Yogi. Bend your knees, hug them on either side of your head. Then slowly lower down, one piece at a time. Let your spine roll back to the floor. Hug your knees into your chest. Give them a squeeze. Supine twist. Take it over to the right. Twist and look to the left. Imagine that I've got my hand, my fingertips right on the ridge of your top hip, and I'm pulling it straight towards the front edge of your mat. So that line along the side of your body in the twist is stretching out from your armpit to the ridge of your hip. Switch sides, supine twist the other way. A long line, the ridge of your top hip. I've got my hand there and I'm pulling it straight forward towards the front edge of the mat. You get more space between your ribs. There's length along the side waist. Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet to touch. If you're in studio, you've got your cold eye towel by the upper corner of your mat. Shavasana. Stretch out your legs, stretch out your arms. Take one final big breath in together. Fill up, fill up, fill up. Exhale it out. Let your entire body rest easy on your mat. Deepen your breath. Bring movement back into your hands and your feet. And plant your feet on the floor. Rock onto your right side. With your eyes still closed, press down and rise up. Take a comfortable seat. Inhale, reach your hands overhead. Exhale, thumbs to heart center. We'll finish our practice together with 3 final ohms. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath in. Big exhale out. Thumb knuckles to forehead center. Thank you all so much making it into the studio and onto your mat to get up to something with me tonight. Namaste. Good work, everybody. Alrighty, if you borrowed a mat, you can just leave it where it is and I'll take care of it. Eye towels go in the basket up by the front desk. And if anyone wants to get signed up for the second inversion workshop on April 1st, let me know because space is going to be filled up real quick. Have a good rest of your night.